Welcome to Mondays Beyond the Mic. This is the place where we go beyond surface level topics in relationships. This space provides us with an opportunity to delve more into personal and profound relationships. I know y'all see a different face up there, but really not a different face, a familiar face, another extension of HG. But we want to say thank you to all who have are is here today. Oh, use your words, girl. We want to say thank you to everybody that's tuning in tonight, those that are here for the very first time, and we welcome you all. So we hope that you enjoy yourself. As a disclaimer, the number one rule here is respect, respect, respect. Everyone's opinions will be respected, and we will be talking from our personal experiences. We are professionals in certain areas we are not. So we would love for you to chime in to help us out and navigate and move this conversation along. I have my co-host, Lady Dawn B, who's on Thursday night. Speak to the people, Lady Dawn B.
What's popping, good people? Happy Monday. I had to make sure I didn't say Thursday. It don't matter. We're here together. It's good to see you all. Y'all gonna get the Lady Dawn B version of Dr. Elaine tonight. That's what's gonna
There
happen.
you go. Make it work.
All right. So I guess we're getting ready to get started. We ready to start? Let's go. So
Let's go.
tonight conversation topic is zombieing. And it's funny because Coach Pache and I were talking right before this, and we were like, we ain't have all these. She really said it. You have all these, definitions and labels and stuff. We was just, you just hurt. You was in a relationship, you just got hurt.
In
But
one
it's
bucket.
right. It was just hurt. So, right, in a bucket, it was just there, and you just cleaned the whole bucket, just throw it all out. But in today's culture, now we have definitions. So, tonight, we are covering the topic of relationship zombieing. This should be good. So, according to Psychology Today, 30% of US adults have experienced ghosting. And zombieing is an extension of this trend, particularly facilitated by social needs. I'm sorry, excuse me, that's not right. Particularly facilitated, y'all forget my glasses not turned up today, by social media re engaging after long periods of silence. I've been there. You can say something that's not for you. I've been there. Okay, y'all work with me tonight. Okay, I'm in a different space, but I myself have been in that space, not even knowing that that's what that was. That silent period between first, you doing all this talking with each other, then you're not talking at all. It's the resurfacing. For me, I used to call that, oh, the devil's busy. That's what I used to call it.
Yeah, but no, today's terms in this culture, it is straight called zombieing. We have ghosting. Last week we talked about breadcrumbing. If you weren't here last week, the breadcrumbing episode turned into stalking. So we don't know where tonight's gonna go once our faithfuls come in and once our viewers chime in. We really have no idea where tonight's gonna go. But tonight we are just trying to get this generation, and I would even venture to say the seasoned saints together in these relationship streets, because like
Mm.
we said, there's ghosting, there's breadcrumbing, it's all these names out, but we're going to get into it tonight. And before we do, we need a commercial break because we have some people talking to us.
All right, the psalmist's voice is saying, "Hey, blessings, Adonai." Everybody's greeting everybody. Simon's voice said, "It's going to be off the meter. Oh, off the meat rack tonight. I'm done." Okay, we don't know what's gonna
Listen,
happen.
and guess what, we got you covered. He said, what's that? Don't fret, we have all of this
You referred
covered.
to the zombie point.
Right. So tonight, like we said, we're talking about zombieing. We will be talking about zombieing. Unlike ghosting, when someone you're talking to suddenly disappears without a trace, no text, no calls, no explanation, or breadcrumbing, when someone keeps you on the hook just enough to make you think there's something that might be happening, but it never does. Zombieing, on the other hand, is when someone you thought was dead and buried in your dating history
Mm,
suddenly crawls back from the grave with a hey stranger at 2 a.m. acting like they didn't ghost you months ago. That's right. Just when you think you're safe, they pop back up again looking for attention or, 2 a.m.
mm-hmm.
Imagination, whatever happens after dark. Like my bishop said, Jesus go to sleep at 9 o'clock. So nothing shouldn't be answering no phone calls or anything. So grab your garlic or maybe something silver. You know what
My
silver,
God.
yeah. And let's dive into the world of dating and zombieing. And for those, don't worry about it. Co-host will be here too. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna drop the link so some men can jump in here and we could just chop it up and see, if you've been zombied, if I zombied, who zombied who, and co-host, just take it away.
Yeah, this is, I'm sure we've all experienced that. Like I said, I know I have, not realizing that's what it was. But to me, it was the devil's busy. You trying to trip me up. No, I ain't falling for it. Because, you know what you like because you had it. So some people you will respond. Don't fall for the okey doke, y'all. Like she said, Jesus go to bed at 9 o'clock. I didn't know his time frame, but now I know better. But I still don't answer no midnight calls. I don't get none, but I don't answer. So, on tonight, we want to talk about in this space of zombieing, closure versus confusion. So, zombieing disrupts the process of closure. When the quote unquote zombie reappears, it reopens old wounds, causing renewed confusion and emotional turmoil. We got to let that rest for a second. Because that's good right there. And that's true. Because you feel like, like you said, you've already gotten past them. They were there and then they stopped calling. They did the ghosting. You were going through your depression, your crying, or all of that. And then now, you get yourself back to this good, healthy space. You're not wanting them. You're not thinking about them. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, just when you start to heal or you healed from their disappearing act, all of a sudden, here they come again. And it does. It
Or you think or you think you moved on. Now you got your courage. I haven't heard from them. It allowed you to build that emotional strength, right? So you build that emotional strength in that space. You don't hear, okay, they dead. They deleted. They out, right? You on zombie me. I'm cool with it now. I'm worked through my feelings. I'm good in this space. And oh, here you come. Lies. Okay, good. I just had to say that. Lies.
It is, because you know what you got to, if you don't kill that nerve and kill it completely, like if you don't numb the nerve, if you don't remove the nerve, if you don't get rid of that nerve, it's going to, when they come back, it's going to tap the nerve again. It's going to wake it up. And that's what happens. You got to detach those emotions from that person. Remember the work that you had to put in to get yourself free,
Mm-hmm.
from missing them. Because that's the real thing, that whole missing process is grieving. Your little heart be broken, and that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. But when they do reappear, it's nothing like it does. It reopens old wounds, causing renewed confusion and emotional turmoil. Like you said, you thought you was past it and you grew up, and now here you are. They done reintroduce themselves to your space, and now you starting to think about it. Look who's here.
Hey,
Hey. Hey. I told y'all she'll be here. And while you're here, guess what? We have our faithfuls popping in. So let's go to our commercial break real quick.
Gaffy Place, a good evening, all. Good evening, Gaffy Place. Reginald says, Aloha, family. Hope everyone is doing well.
Hey.
The psalmist says, Oh, that. I got that done a lot. LOL.
So he's been zombied. He's been zombied. Okay, okay. So I dropped the link. I would love to know how that feels. Nuh-uh, not just one and done count.
Some people.
It's too early.
It is.
I know it is too early. Okay. Now we go to look, he's still talking. I can't. Oh no.
Oh no, it's going to be lit now. All three of you laugh out loud.
Listen, y'all men's in them out there. I dropped the link. If y'all want to come and balance this thing out, you're more than welcome. Okay, Lady Dawn B. Okay, so we're in closure and confusion. Let's go to the next one. You just wrote zombie in. Now the next point.
The next point is, unlike ghosting, it forces an individual to confront that the connection has likely ended. Even if without explanation, there is a sense of finality. Hmm, that is good. And I think it's really good and helpful because, like you said, unlike ghosting, you don't get to put that closure on it. Where in this case, you do because they resurface. Now, what you do when they resurface and how you receive them when they resurface, that's a whole nother story. Because I ain't gonna be so kind and so polite. Like, sir, let me explain. No, you cannot. Oh, you want to talk at 2 a.m.? Okay, let's chop it. You ready? You're not gonna get the conversation you want. I think that's a place where you can take your power back, and
Mm-hmm.
express everything that you need to. Like, don't fall into that emotional trigger that they touch, that they put, because they're trying to pull you back for their good, not for yours. Because if it was for you, they would have, dealt with you respectfully. So that's what sticks in my mind all the time. So that's why I'm like, okay, let's talk. Let's have a 2 a.m. My 2 a.m. conversations are way different. You don't want that.
Because even within that, I said it last week on breadcrumbing. I'd rather you just ghost me. Just go on, disappear, go on with yourself. I'm cool with that. But don't leave for months at a time. And then you want to return from the dead. What was that show? The Walking Dead? And you want to return for your convenience or your lack of options. Maybe your other options fell through and you think you want to
Mm-hmm.
pop back up now because I'm supposed to be sitting here waiting and ready for you. Lies you tell. Right? I am not here to boost and stroke your ego if you are not my man. Sorry, can't help you. Right? So that's the other part of it, I think, that I say women or men shouldn't allow anybody to do that to you after you went through that emotional state, the crying, and oh, woe is me, you're getting your feelings out, and then you build up, co-host, we was talking about building up that emotional strength, and you have moved on and you're in a good space now, and that person has been deleted, that person been gone a month, 2 months, a year, whatever that looks like, and then you want to pop up and call me like at 2 a.m. But then it pulls on your heartstrings because just because you've been zombie doesn't mean your feelings were totally lost for that person. You just learn where to place them. You just learn that person is not for me anymore. So for you to just pop up very disrespectfully thinking like, yeah, I was gone for a year or two and now I'm back, what's good? Nothing. What are your thoughts?
I think people probably reappear for, as you stated, different reasons. Maybe it didn't work out in whatever they thought was going to be a better situation. Maybe they've come to their senses. Maybe at 2 a.m. they thought you was half asleep and you would just be more kinder, um, because you're not on your P's and Q's. I think that there could be many reasons why. I'm going to always look at the other side and say, maybe the person wants to say sorry, and they built up the courage at 2 a.m. I don't know.
Not breaking my sleep.
Yeah. You're
We're
gonna
not
have to
gonna do
say
that.
sorry at 10 a.m. It ain't.
Stephanie said yes at Pache.
At some respectable hours.
And I agree because now I told the story about my dad. Terrence says so.
So, you popping up? Oh, okay,
Landon said
okay.
face reality.
Oh, it's about to go down tonight.
Terrence said most of the time it's because the situation didn't work out, which, yeah. So now you
As
want
we all, oh, he had a typo. Oh,
oh,
okay.
okay.
But like we always say, if it didn't work out, communication. Use your words. Use your vowels. It's okay. Okay. Let's
I
let's
don't, I
let's
don't want
move
to be
on.
nobody's option. I'm gonna be a decision. Like, I can't do that. It didn't work out over there, so you coming. But ain't no options. It's a decision. I'm a whole decision. That's all
You
I'm
made
saying.
a decision at 2 a.m.
And I made mine too at 2:02.
Look.
Reginald said, ladies, I've been learning all of these new terms.
This is good. This is what the show is about. We got to get together, because there's a lot, like we were talking about before the show. Growing up, we didn't have all these terms and terminology. Lady Dawn B and I was talking about, we just hurt. Hurt is hurt, and all the hurt went in one bucket. We wasn't zombie. We was zombie. We was breadcrumb. We was ghosted, but it didn't have all these names to it. It was just all in one bucket, and you dealt with all the feelings at one time. Hey, Pastor Chris, how you doing?
I'm ghosted and I feel zombied right about now, but I'm good. How are you ladies
Okay,
doing
okay.
tonight?
But it's not 2
We
a.m., so you got time. Now,
right.
He's early for
You
his
got
Okay,
time
appointment.
tonight.
I'm gonna be. I'm sorry. This is a more professional show. I'm sorry. Let me calm down. It's been
And
a
see, like
while.
we said,
It's been a.
it's been a while. Welcome back. And see, Pastor Chris is the only man that's bold enough and courageous enough to get up here with three women. Y'all men out there gonna leave him hanging. I'm just letting that out there. I'll drop the link again. But yeah, so we gonna move on. Co-host, you want to take away psychological impact and control?
Okay.
zombieing can feel even more manipulative because the person reappears on their own terms, disrupting the individual's sense of emotional balance, which creates a dynamic of emotional push and pull, where the zombied person may feel manipulated into re engaging with someone who previously discarded them. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a good
Pastor
one.
Chris, you got thoughts? You got any thoughts on that?
If I
Because you
may.
did ask the question, does one and done count? So,
Yeah, because I mean that's kind of sort of like ghosting, right? But anyway, never mind. We'll get to that later. But yeah, that's interesting. Um, because I've never heard. See, the terminologies was never. I was never heard. I never heard of it like that. So basically, it's like when you go through something like a breakup or something like that, someone just stops talking to you. Oh well, I mean, I hate to say that, but I mean, it's like, oh well, I guess next.
yeah.
I mean, hate not to sound insensitive, but how we grew up in our generation, we didn't have all these categories, so we got to box emotions in categories and put names on them. I've never. So for me, it's
Hmm.
kind of weird. So if I stop talking to someone, or vice versa, she stops talking to me. Okay, it is what it is. Let's move on. And then, of course, yeah, it kind of gives a little, what? Why are you calling me? It's been like 6 months past, and all of a sudden you sending me text messages and all this stuff. Random. What? So, yeah, that stuff kind of throws me off. I mean, it'll
And
throw anybody off.
right. And I think to the part where it says the dynamic of emotional pull, right?
Mm-hmm.
Push and pull, where a zombie person may feel manipulated, right? To re engage. And it speaks to what I just spoke about a few minutes ago. If that person was deeply in love with that person, if that person, it doesn't mean you stop loving the person. It just means that person zombied you. So for you to come back and just think you can pull on my heartstrings again, that's where the emotional roller coaster comes in. Because then guess what? Now I'm reigniting all those feelings I had for that person before. And it's like, are they serious this time? So now you start second guessing yourself.
Hmm.
And you built up all this emotional courage, but now it's like, well, now you right back down again. It's like, oh, I really do love him. I really do love her. And then you start playing the good times, totally forgetting about that they just left you for 6 months to a year.
Well, I guess I would say, I think in that, because again, I think there's different reasons, right? And worst case
Mm-hmm.
scenario, someone's just playing with your emotions. In the other case scenario, either way, I think there needs to be communication. And I think you need to ask, because someone may, at 2 in the morning had the heart and was like, either now or never. We've all had those moments where we're like, I want to say something. Well, now instead of writing a letter, I'll leave it in a text and they'll see it in the morning. And if they don't respond, whatever. But that person calling could be looking to say, hey, I at least want to see, will you talk to me? Because I know I did not leave on the best note. I don't know. I just kind of feel like it depends. There's
No,
situations.
that's a very valid point because it could be that person at the time had fear of commitment, right? It doesn't always have to be negative. It could be that person had a fear of commitment and was afraid at that given time to be intimate. Maybe they struggle with being vulnerable. It could be a number of dynamics that plays into it, and probably, like you said last week, mustered up the courage to say, okay, I'm ready now, right? Because last week you spoke to somebody shooting a shot and you ain't know the shot was going to land. It's like, okay, what do I do with that now, right? So I'm just saying. So they could be struggling with emotional intimacy and commitment, which will
and
cause them to zombie.
And
True.
sometimes I want to say this, and I know that this will probably get some men to jump on really quick. But a lot of times, well, I'm gonna put it this way. I've heard it said like men, a lot of men will shoot their shot at a level that they may have not think that they're at, right? And then the point to saying, okay, the shot landed again. Now what do I do? Because in your head or in their head, and I'm just going from a male female perspective, and you, Pastor Chris, could talk on the other side. I think that now it's like, what do I do? Because I put you at a certain level. Like somebody may say something like, I drink coffee from 7-Eleven. You look like you drink coffee from Starbucks. So they already put you on two different levels, right? I'm just using that because people think, oh, if you drink coffee from Starbucks, there's this level versus 7-Eleven, not knowing you would probably drink coffee from 7-Eleven too. But in their mind, they have put you someplace that you didn't put yourself there. They did.
Okay, commercial break, real quick. I don't know what's going on with my words tonight, but I promise you I can read and I can speak. I really can. We're gonna go to a commercial break, then we're gonna let Lady Dawn B chime in, and then we're gonna move on.
Bravo, as Sheila said, and the soul tie that you had under control wakes up and you're
Mm-hmm.
back to the emotional upset. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Stephanie says, I feel like there shouldn't be any excuse not to communicate. Sorry, not sorry. Laugh out loud.
Look, oh shucks. We sure you got a story. We
Jesus.
we are so sure that you have a story, Brother Vaughn. And I'm gonna drop the link again because
He
once you
says,
start
what
talking,
the is
uh,
zombie?
look, can we all hear him?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
He
Dr. E,
said,
stop
Dr. E,
playing.
stop playing. No.
Lord have mercy. Okay.
So
Just go back and watch
yeah,
last week's show and you will definitely understand why we're laughing this week.
I
Oh, I know.
promise y'all will totally understand it. So, Lady Dawn B, I'm gonna read this next one and let me know your thoughts. So we just talked about zombieing, right?
Uh-huh.
In terms of psychological impact and control. Now, unlike ghosting, which often leads to the individual feeling powerless or disregarded. This can lead to feelings of helplessness, but it also pushes an individual to eventually regain control of their narrative by moving on and accepting the situation. What do you think about that?
If you can navigate yourself in that way, that's great. But I think the problem is often we don't. We don't initially take that stance. Our initial reaction, oh Lord Jesus, is our curiosity because our emotions have been reopened. So now we want them nurtured, we want them soothed, we want our answer. We start to let our emotions lead us back into creating an open space for that person to come in and engage and have conversation. And it can take a while before we even get to that point where we do regain that control we have to stop and think. For me, and I can't say that I've never been in this situation because I have, but for me, it got to the point. What made me regain control of my narrative and move on and stand on my business of moving on is I thought about the fact that, okay, like Dr. E said, maybe this was their hour of courage, but you were courageous when you first started talking to me. You were
Mm.
courageous as we grew in the relationship, whatever direction it was going in. You were inconsiderate of me when you stopped talking, but now you're popping back up. So where's the respect? That's what in my mind, like you didn't have that respect and regard for me in that moment. So now I'm going to take my control back right now by not choosing to engage and not even give you the opportunity to explain.
So
Mm.
that's both for zombie and ghosting.
That's a
Gotcha.
whole bag of goodbye,
A
Oh,
whole
okay.
bag of
Okay.
goodbye.
whole bag.
A whole bag. Mr. Vaughn, Mr. Vaughn Eric.
Lady Dawn better stop playing. I'm just laughing. She's sitting up here playing, talking about. First of all, let me
Don't
talk.
start.
Let me talk to Lady Dawn because she playing
Uh-oh.
today. Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Lady Dawn, maybe the guy did that because it was something that you told him that he could not come back at you and he was scared. You know, men get scared too sometimes. I'm just letting you know because I've been scared a few times. I'm just saying.
I don't know how scared you can be after, last week
Yes,
and then
right.
moving in and 7 years later, but go ahead. I digress.
First of all, lady.
Oh Lord Jesus.
First of
You
all,
know what happens when you hear first of all.
Now I'm scared.
first of all,
Me
I'm
too.
I'm gonna get to you later, Coach. Right now, I'm on Don B.
Come on, bring it.
Uh-oh.
You got
Don,
the smoke
Don,
Uh-oh.
tonight.
Uh-oh.
Don B.
Yes,
First
sir.
of all, like you said, you have big brothers, and big brothers get you know what big brothers do. And you might have said something to him, and he thought that you might was going to go get to your brothers, and he got scared. Then he might have went and talked to Doctor E, right? Doctor E gave him courage, and then he felt like that he can come back and talk to you. What do you do? Tell me.
That sounds like the Wizard of Oz. This is what it sounds like.
Okay. Okay. Well, he's coming back and trying to talk to Scarecrow, whatever, or the giant, whatever he wants. He wants to. He needs to come back. What do you do? Do you just blow him off? Because he loved you. He seen Doctor E talk to him
One.
and said that, hey, you really in love with Lady B. He ain't listening to Coach because Coach will burn your house down. He ain't listening to her. He's listening to Dr. E this moment, right? Are
Okay.
you going to put him off?
I am going to put him on pause. Yes, I am. And
Oh, okay.
here's why.
Okay.
Because you did not regard my feelings when you had me open and you were in that space. I have to protect my space in my heart. And there has to be respect because the damage that's done in silence can't always be fixed or healed when you resurface. Because guess what? I had to heal myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you and I get it. I will respectfully understand that, bruh. If you didn't have the courage, this is what I don't understand. You had the courage to approach. So how did you not? Where did you lose the courage at? Along the, like what part of the brick road did you all of a sudden lose
Now
heart?
that's when he talked to coach and pastor. He talked to coach and he talked to pastor, and they gave him the courage that he was able to approach you. But he was a little intimidated. You know, men gets intimidated. Men, it's hard to approach some women's, beautiful women, got nice personality. It is hard sometimes, especially if they're not used to it. They never did it before, or when they did do it, they got, rejected. Sometimes people take rejections hard.
But if
You
you
say your brother, hold
face,
on. Pastor Chris is disagreeing with Vaughn Eric. What's your thoughts, Pastor Chris?
I'm gonna get in trouble with this, but I stay in trouble. What else is new? So, uh, I think when you become I'll speak for me. When you've gone through what you've gone through in your life and you became a man and you matured, right? Why should you be intimidated? I don't care how fine you are. I don't care if you got all the curves and all the edges. I don't care if your hair is natural or weave. I don't care. I'm going to tell you for real. Why? Because one, you're going to have a clear understanding and you'll respect me a whole lot more if I told you the truth than a lie. This is where this ghosting and zombieing and Michael Jackson thriller is coming on with this show because we don't want to tell the truth. We want to play all these games. Now, see, yeah, exactly, Dr. Lang. We want to do all this stuff. Look, just tell the truth. Now, me telling the truth has got me in a lot of trouble. Got the t shirt, the hat,
See,
the MP3 to download.
see,
Now, when women say, and look, I'm going to get it. I know there's three strong women here, but I got to say this.
tell them,
I
preach.
am tired of hearing women tell men to be transparent and tell me the truth. I can handle it. You can tell me the truth, or you say intellectually, it's okay, baby. You can tell me the truth. You, now you do your little hair and you do little cools and all that.
What?
Or you can be just straight professional and just be stone cold Steve Austin like Coach
Right,
Pache. You can tell me anything. Go ahead, dog.
right,
You good? Now, as soon as we say it, and as soon as we drop the bomb, all in here is all like, no, this Negro. But you just
No,
got the
depends
stone
on it
Well,
cold.
depends on
I
what
I
no no
don't
no
agree with
no. It
that.
depends on what caliber of
Right.
women that you're dealing with. Because if I'm
I'm
telling you to tell me the truth, I promise you, I want you to tell me the truth. The worst thing you could ever do to me is lie to me.
And then
So
where's the truth
I
when you
promise
walk
you.
away without saying nothing? That's the thing. It takes you 6 months after that to tell, like, what are we doing?
well.
You just came in like a Russian wind with your chest out, talking with your chest out, knocking down the brick walls to make the point. But then all of a sudden, what the inflation of your chest, like you got to repump it or something because it took you six
Okay.
months.
No, no, no,
No.
no.
But no, no, she
Actually,
didn't. He said
the
inflation of
inflation of
the
my
breath.
chest has increased in the last 6 months, but I'm not going to go
Okay.
there. But
Okay. Okay.
anyway,
Time out.
um,
Time out. Time out. Not the pumping of the chest. We got to take a commercial break because she
Yes,
said you have to
please
go
do.
and pump
Because
your chest
he said
for 6 months.
inflation of the chest.
Terrence says sometimes you got to hear the person out. There's always a reason behind ghosting. I mean, I do believe that.
See, that is true. It's always a reason.
A
If it's
star
like this,
says,
go ahead.
Hold on.
I'm all for guarding all your gates. And I think the reason we're not open to talking is more about our fear of allowing them to hurt us again and less about them actually trying to hurt us again.
Good
Okay.
point.
A star says, we have to trust ourselves no matter what they say or try to get us back. Mhm.
I think that's a good point.
Reginald said it was time for a timeout.
Flag on the play, flag on the play, flag on the play. It was time for a timeout. But I think that's a very valid point. We have to trust ourselves no matter what they say to try to get us back. Even if you moved on mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, and you built up that emotional courage or whatever that looks like to you, God help, whatever, we have to know ourselves enough to know. For me, I would just block you, block everything, emails, phone calls,
Oh,
it's easier for me to
God.
heal that way. That it's easier for me to heal that way. If I'm in my healing process, I don't need to hear from you.
Coach, I'm
That
hurt
that
though. I'm hurt. I'm hurt because you blocking me. You
so
shouldn't be blocking me.
how did
You
you
just
think
gonna look
I
after your
felt
feelings.
when
So you
you
just gonna look after
zombied
your
me?
feelings. And
Stay in
it's gonna
coach
harm my feelings.
Pache. That part.
Well,
How
can
did
I
you
just,
think I felt? Go ahead. Let me tell him. Let me just say something to Vaughn real quick.
Because
How did
coach,
you think I felt when you zombied me out of nowhere? Like you just went in the grave and then you just, what did I have to do for myself emotionally? How many nights did I cry? How many nights did I have girl nights out? So yeah, co-host,
Coach, I
go
cried
ahead.
too. Coach, I
what,
cried too. That's
wait,
why
wait,
I went and
wait.
talked to I
Well,
went and talked to Doctor
But okay, wait, hold on. While you was talking to me, Doc Vaughn, I think one of the things that we're talking about, and from the person's perspective that was zombied, right, is emotional hijacking. You don't get to hijack my emotions and jump and come in and out of my life. So for the person who this is happening to, they have to be able to process in their own way. The same way you zombied, or if someone goes, whatever the reasons were, you did it, you took it upon yourself to do it the way you thought was best to handle it. And now to resurface to the person and expect for them to just welcome you back with open arms. Someone said it earlier. It's a matter of protecting, basically protecting your space, and being able to say, you know what, if I'm going to listen to you, I have to listen to you from I guess a more neutral place than from my heart. I need to listen with my head and not my heart, if that's the best way I can say it. Because my heart got me in trouble with you. If I
Mhm.
listen with my head, I'll think it through versus
Mhm.
moving on my emotions.
I got you. That's part of the consequences that a person that does want to come back and he may get rejected or go through some ups and downs. That's part. I understand. That's part of the consequences, but it works both ways. You have to look at it on his side too, because he went
I
through
didn't say
consequences also. Coach be trying to be hard. She be trying to go back like she was. No, stop that. She no. You gotta look at it on the other side too, on the man side. We make mistakes. We go through
I
we
didn't
go feelings.
right. I
See,
listen, I'm here for it. I never said you don't have feelings, but in terms of me, I have to love me first before I
that's
love you. You broke me. So how do you think I'm just going to easily tread lightly and get
mhm.
back into this relationship with you? It doesn't work that way. Can you drink the same cup of water twice?
Oh,
Mm.
No, right?
come on.
Yes, I
Can
Oh,
you?
can. Yes, I can. If you
Come
fill it back
on.
up.
I just
Yes,
did.
wow.
I just did.
that's a good. That's a good. That was a good one. I can't even get around that, but that was a good one. That hit hard right there. But I'm saying, listen, I'm not saying that we it needs to be easy when we come back. That's what I'm
No.
not saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying is it should be looked at on both sides. Did you take the chance? Cause see, Lady Dawn just. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with her. I'm looking at her different now.
Straight mollywop. That's what happened.
She just.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to
Straight
go
Okay. So
talk.
we
I'm
go.
mollywop.
gonna have to talk to
All
Pastor
right. So
Wilson.
we gonna move on
Well,
from this question. I know co-host want to say something. Co-host to say something. We'll go to commercial break. Break after that commercial break. Lady Dawn B will read the next one.
so I just wanted to say, I think a part of this is when we're talking about forgiveness, right? Because
Right.
if you want to come back and you want to be forgiven, but here's the thing, and this is for either party, the person who has zombied the person,
Hmm.
you don't get to tell somebody how long it takes for them to forgive you. You don't get to
That's
do that.
that's true.
That is that. So if I say I forgive you and I allow you some space, it doesn't mean you get the exact space where you started, because forgiveness is technically starting all over again. So you have to regain my trust. So just because I forgive you, you don't occupy the exact slot where you were before. You got to earn that back.
Well,
Oh,
see,
come on.
that's what's hard. I see what you're saying. If someone did it purposely within their
It
heart,
doesn't matter if your
what?
feelings are hurt. It doesn't matter whether a person did it in, if the other person is hurt
Hmm.
and you're asking them to forgive you, right? 2 a.m.,
Right.
2 p.m., what doesn't matter the time. You do not get to tell the person that's hurt when it's okay. Now you should stop because I said sorry.
You're right. I mean, I should have. Maybe I
We
should have.
gonna move on.
Okay.
We gonna move on
Okay.
because we'll be on this same one all night.
Yeah, because I'm about to come through the computer with Dr. Lee on that. She put
Reginald
all
said,
three.
Coach,
Y'all, I'm
don't
about to put
play.
one through the computer. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Clarence said, wow, coach.
I know.
Kathy said that water analogy spoke loud,
Yeah,
coach.
yeah.
Yeah, we
I gotta
all
get
going to get a
that.
shirt.
Yeah, I gotta get that on the
Same
shirt right
fucking one
there. That was
twice.
good. That was good.
Okay, we gonna move on. Lady Dawn B, we gonna move on to trust and emotional safety.
I had to regroup myself. Okay. Zombieing deeply undermines trust. When a zombie reappears after disappearing without explanation, it can make the recipient question not only the sincerity of the zombie's intentions, but also their own judgment in trusting people again. What about that? This is
And
loaded,
let's
loaded.
right. So the next part, let's read it in two parts. So co-host, you want to read unlike ghosting?
Wait a minute. Hold on. No, if Dawn, can you pick it up for me, please?
Go ahead. I'll read it. It
Oh,
says, unlike ghosting, which breaks trust because the sudden cutoff indicates a lack of communication and respect. However, once the ghoster disappears, the person has the opportunity to heal, rebuild their trust in others, and learn from the experience. So we got two different things going on here. Thoughts?
you quiet, Vaughn.
Pastor, Pastor Chris Vaughn, y'all got anything?
I'll get my
Nope.
thoughts together. Hold up now. I'm trying to gather all this together. Come on.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get a 3-piece special. I'm about to watch what I say. My God.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Hold up.
I might get a 3-piece
Okay,
special
so I
tonight.
read the difference of the two, right? So with zombieing, right, the recipient questions not only the sincerity of the zombie's intention, but also their own judgment and trust in people again. With the
Mhm.
ghost and the disappearing, the person has the opportunity to heal, rebuild their trust in others, and learn from their experiences.
Mhm.
So it's two
That's
different
true.
emotional effects going on here.
Okay, what go ahead about tell me the zombie because I want to
Well,
make sure
if I had to, I guess, try to simplify it, I guess a matter of this would be the zombie reappears. The
Mm-hmm.
ghosting never comes back. So it's two different. You get the opportunity to heal from the ghosting because the person's gone. So you do the work. The zombieing is someone popping back up into your life, and now you may have thought, I think I'm healed, and now here they are again.
Well, that happens a lot.
yeah, but how is that's the thing is how do a person would a person heal once they ghosted? Are they healing? What are they feeling within themselves? They was ghosted because they did something wrong, or do they believe the other person? It was all on the other person, and then while they're healing, what are they healing from?
You disappearing without if I'm having conversation with you every day, we on the phone Monday
Mhm,
4 and 5 hours, and for the rest of the week we are having a communication, a healthy communication. We're enjoying each other's company over the
mhm,
phone or whatever it looks like. It can even be going out. And
mhm.
then next week I hear nothing from you for the rest of my life.
The rest
That
of
could go on for a month. That could go on.
okay,
Right. Ghosting is the person is gone. You don't hear from them anymore. The problem with zombieing is they leave you and then they
then they
come
come
back.
back. Okay, so if the
So
person,
a person's healing is different depending on how they heal emotionally. No one person, I don't think, heals the same. For me,
mhm.
like y'all said, that was harsh for me. But for me, I'm cutting off all communication. That's how I heal. I don't need to speak to you. I don't need to hear from you because that's just going to keep pulling me back and forth when I know it's going nowhere when I want something and you know this. So you don't get to breadcrumb me, you don't get to ghost me, and you don't get to zombie me.
Would you try to call the person and see is
Absolutely not.
why not?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because sometimes action speaks louder than words. Maya Angelou said it best. When someone shows you who they are, believe it.
Beat them.
Yeah,
And
but
again,
you said
back to
something.
communication. And it goes back to Lady Dawn B's point. You
Mhm.
had enough courage to talk to me. You opened up that door. We started vibing. Give me enough respect. If you really care that much about me, respect me enough to say, hey, take a long walk off a short bridge. I don't want to deal with you no more. I can respect that.
I see your point, coach, but I really gotta talk to your mother. Down B's pastor. I gotta talk to y'all two mothers because something y'all don't play. Now I think I can talk to Dr. E. Dr. E, she's more a little open minded. But
Okay.
I gotta talk to y'all.
Okay.
I gotta talk to Dr. Pastor. I gotta
No.
talk to
It's
Dr.
not
E
that
You
we're
believe
not
that one?
and
I
Pastor.
don't think it's that we're not open minded, but you have to stand 10 toes. How much of you are you willing to give up to someone else to
Mhm.
come and go as they please?
Right.
You have to think about that because people will only treat you the way you teach them to treat you. It
Right.
goes back to something I was said earlier about the manipulation because of the manipulation because the person reappears on their own terms. Where is that a we? Where in that are you showing that you are going to cover and care for my feelings? I feel unprotected.
Right.
I feel unsafe. I feel like you're only in it to get out of it what you can get out of it
Mhm.
with no consideration as to my feelings. It's like, you have that toy that you pull out when you want to play, and then you put it back. Or do you just leave it on the floor? Or you just walk away? You don't remember where it is. And then 6 months later, when you feel like, oh, I remember how this toy made me feel. Now I'm gonna go find it. Like, what is that? Ain't nobody here for that. We not. I'm just saying, we're not built that way. Like,
I got you.
give the respect. That same regard. Treat me with the same kind of respect. I don't think that I don't. You don't have to be an emotional garbage
Mhm.
for anyone. And you don't have to accept everything that comes your way. I might listen. Sometimes listening, giving the person the opportunity, you're getting it off your chest. But where is the consideration for my feelings in that? If you felt that way, like Coach Pache said, I'd rather you tell me, take a long walk, short pier. You know what? I hear you. I understand where you're at. You
Mhm.
made your point. But when you just walk away,
Hey,
Mhm.
Elaine wants to say something.
I guess my thing is, I think in this, whether we're talking about ghosting or zombieing, it's a part of women like closure. And I
Mhm.
think that's it. It's like if you ghosted me, you didn't say anything. Or if
Mhm.
you zombied me, you just disappeared. And I think that may be a difference where men are kind of maybe okay with, men usually don't need closure. Women want to know why. We want to know, why did you do X, Y, and Z? So I think that may play a part in how it looks different, where a man may say, no, I just felt I needed space. Where a woman's like, well, you could have just said that to me. And it goes back to the form or the art of communication to be able to say, I need a break, or I don't think this is working. Whatever it is, say something. And I think that's what it is.
And
Mhm.
that's the part, Vaughn, you didn't hear when the show first started. I think you came on a little later in the show. And it says zombie disrupts the process of closure. When the zombie reappears, it reopens wounds, causing renewed confusion and emotional turmoil. Unlike ghosting, it forces an individual to confront that the connection has likely ended, even if without explanation. There's a sense of finality. There's a sense that, okay, it is over. But that
Mhm.
zombie and that back and forth, that's the difference. So
I
let's
see.
let's move on. Hold on. Stephanie said something.
Right. Stephanie says, so to me, it sounds like zombieing comes after the ghosting. So in in the interim, there is no communication about the ghosting in the first place. Just throw the whole relationship away. Laugh out loud.
I can
Right.
see.
Because
So let's
I think,
hmm
yeah, no, I was going
I
to
can
say,
see that in some cases.
yeah, I would say that because the first thing a person would think is, oh, I got ghosted. And
Right.
then you go, oh, guess who just popped up, out of nowhere? Now I'm being zombie. So it's like a whole process from breadcrumbing or ghosting, breadcrumbing to zombieing. Next week will be
There you go.
resurrection. I don't know.
There you
Um,
go. Right here.
Terrence says, Coach, you can
You
just
can't.
block a brother without reaching out yourself.
Yeah. Coach is gangster.
yes, I can.
I'm just letting
Yes,
you
I
know
can.
that.
I,
Coach is
I
gangster.
absolutely can. 110% I can. 10 toes down. I can. If you didn't
Well,
respect
listen.
me enough to stay, or even not even stay, if you can't respect my feelings enough to communicate, it takes a conversation. It may say, hey, it doesn't even have to be deep. Hey, right now, even if it's something you feel as though you can't do and it's coming from an honest place, I'm not in a space right now to give you what you want. I'm not in a space right now because I'm not emotional ready to be in a relationship. Whatever that looks like,
Mhm.
communication is key in everything. So again, you don't get to tell me how to heal. You don't get to tell me how to process my healing. You don't get to control that part of my life, because what you actually did when you ghosted me, when you zombied me, you left me up to determine my healing process and where to put you and what box to put you in. Now, maybe after the healing process and I am healthy enough to deal with you, then I will converse with you if I feel like it. But you don't get to control me that way in my feelings and how I choose to live my life. I absolutely get the right to block you.
Come.
I
Now
think
that may sound harsh, but that is just me.
I
And
think
and I and I'm also speaking from a space of, with all of this being done to me before, right?
Mhm. Right.
Me being raised by single women, I
Mhm.
had to always protect myself. There was no male figure to protect me. And
Mhm.
even getting in relationships where the man was supposed to protect me, I still had to protect myself. So if this is my process and my mechanism of healing, it is what it is. Your feelings is hurt. Sorry, feelings are fleeting. You left me to deal with mine, so now I'm gonna leave you to deal with yours.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's not deep.
I see what you're saying, Coach. I'm not trying to go against you. Put the gun back. Put the gun back down. Put it down.
Put it
Only
back in the
thing
holster.
only thing I'm saying is, at first, what you said is absolutely right. A person shouldn't dictate or shouldn't try to control a person as far as their feelings. I think it's the mix up in is when it comes to what you and Don B is saying, because y'all something else. You know, I'm gonna talk to y'all mothers after the show is over. Dr.
Listen,
E,
if you want to
I'm
learn
just
about
saying,
me, have a
I'm just
conversation with Jesus. Mama could tell you, but Jesus put all this in
okay.
me.
I'll have it with
He
Jesus
knows
first.
that.
He
He
didn't,
knows that.
he didn't create me to be no one's doormat. I am a
I have it.
baby.
I will have it with Jesus, and He will send me to your mother. So no problem.
Commer-
Okay. No,
commercial break.
I'm just saying
Okay,
is
go ahead, Vaughn.
only thing I'm just saying is we shouldn't control, but it's to understand the other person's side. Because you just said actions. Actions could be deceiving just like words. So
Now, did I not say
his
after my healing, maybe I'll have the
well,
conversation with him? Maybe
but you
it's
said,
still up to me, but
right.
it's still up to me though. You don't get to
No, I'm not
control
trying.
how I interact with you.
No. Oh no, I'm not trying to force you. Only thing I'm just trying to do is to go ahead, do what you need to do. You need to do whatever. Just understand the brother. That's all. I just want you to understand.
Okay,
That's
I
all.
understand.
It
We
was some. I told you I had to go talk to Doctor E and Pastor. I had to go talk
okay.
to them.
Commercial
That's
break.
all.
Go and talk to him. Commercial break.
Well, before we go on commercial break, please like, share, subscribe, and give us some super chats. Please, please, please. It's free 99. Theo says, I'm going to have to watch the replay.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Thea. Replay and last week. I promise you.
A star says, just say, hey, I'm going underground. I don't know when or if I'm coming back.
Thank you. A star. I can respect that. I
Right.
respect that. I'm going underground. I'm out. Don't leave me waiting. You like we
Well,
talked about last week,
let's
picking
be
up the
honest. If a
beepers, the
man said
phone.
to you, I'm going underground, you're like, what does that mean?
Right.
We're gonna
Right.
ask a follow-up
Thank
question.
you.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Stephanie says at Terrence,
What do you mean?
why why should we reach out if you are the one who ghosted?
Now y'all handle that conversation. That's right,
Lee
Stephanie. Let
says,
them know.
hey everyone, long time. Both ghosting and zombieing shows lack of respect and maturity, in my opinion.
Very good. Welcome back, Lee. Very, very good.
Theo is laughing.
Uh oh.
Star says Vaughn likes those bigger persons they don't make them like that anymore. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, so we gonna move on because Vaughn just on something tonight, but it's all good because this is why we. So we gonna move on to the false hope. It's a trap.
oh my
So
God.
Zombieing, however, introduces false hope. The back and forth can delay emotional healing and foster a cycle of hope and disappointment, especially if the zombie's reappearance is not genuine or consistent. Unlike despite the hurt, can give the recipient a clear, abate understanding signal to move on. There's a recognition that the relationship or communication is over, leading to eventually emotional detachment. So again, ghosting, I got it. Like A Star said, I'm going underground. I may be back. So he ghosted and zombie all in the same time, but at least I know where I stand. He said, I'm
Right.
going underground. Okay, maybe he'll be, and I don't know when I'll be back. So he ghosted me and he going under. I get that. So what's your thoughts on that?
Go ahead, Pastor, because I ain't messing with these
Uh,
folks.
well, well. First and foremost, this isn't BK. You can't have it your way. So again, a lot of times you have to be again you have to be mature, right? But again, I understand why, because both men and women kind of do the same thing. Because I do the same thing. If I'm done, I'm done, and I'm cutting you off. There's no if ands buts nothing. I'm just gonna cut it off because that's I need to heal. That's just me. But I also give warning before the cutoff. And if you chose not to hear the warning before the ghosting or the zombie, and however you want to term it, and if I told you repeatedly and you still did not hear me, that's not my fault. Now, that's the difference if the communication from the male was not given, then I could understand all the other stuff that goes with it. But if communication's being given versus male and female, and they're telling you and they're giving you cues, they're communicating effectively, they're saying it slow so you can understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, all this stuff, and you still choose not to hear, da 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 da, I'm ghosting you, I'm done.
He made his own song.
Yeah,
Okay.
theme song.
Yo sung the song and everything.
Right. Okay, so Stephanie, here's your response.
Because you never know what could have happened to the person.
Thank you.
Okay, I hear all of that, but my point is you can say something if we're in this relationship, like A Star said, I'm going underground. It takes nothing. We have text now. It takes nothing to say, I need a minute. I need an emotional minute.
Hmm.
Whatever that looks like, you can communicate to that other person you so-called care so much about, that you so-called love, that you so-called want to be with. You can respect that person enough to say, I need space, I need time. It takes nothing to text that, even if you don't want to call and convey that.
Mhm.
True.
I, it,
It's
it,
just a
it,
lack of respect for me.
Coach,
I
I
agree.
agree 100% what you said. Please don't come at me like that, like I don't agree with you. I
I'm not.
agree, but I'm just saying though. And Lady Dawn B, I need you to listen because I mean you gonna have a conversation that
Okay. Well, hey.
I need you gonna listen to me and
Well,
you.
here's the thing, Vaughn. If
I
you
just
want to talk to Dawn B, you got to talk to me because I'm her
Oh
responsible adult.
Jesus.
I
She.
talk to all three of y'all. I'm not scared of both of y'all.
Oh,
Okay, we
I'm
gonna
not
move on.
scared. I'm not
Elaine,
see,
scared.
let's go. We
I'm
gonna
talking to
go.
all three of
with
y'all.
the chest now. That's that
One,
sex when you puff your chest up delay. See what I'm saying?
And I done lost my place. Hold
Yeah, I
as long
know,
as you
right? I
don't
can't
climb
even
through my
think.
window, you're
Emotional
good.
processing and anxiety.
wait,
I'm
hold
just
on.
saying.
Hold
I'm,
on.
I'm just saying. Like Terrence just said, there are some people that it's hard for them to communicate, and it could be something they was raised, what they was taught. It's hard for them. That's the reason why I said I had to go talk to Dr. Elaine and Pastor because
Oh, it's going down tonight. Oh, it's a reunion. Let's
oh,
Well,
go.
that's
you
okay.
Hey, Mike.
Go ahead.
Hey, Frank.
The whole
In a minute.
reunion out here.
I'm gonna let
What's
him. Go
going
ahead.
on, sir?
Take the mic, Mike. Take the mic. Get him.
It's a whole reunion going on. What I be doing? Listen, zombieing and ghosting, everybody's back. All we had to do was do the show and get the
See,
people back.
see, perfect example. They done left y'all hanging for how long, and then they come back on their own terms. You see what I'm saying? What is that? What we doing?
That's true.
Hey,
That's
We can't
You
hear you,
breaking up.
Mike.
your mic.
and look,
Why you get your
and
mic?
We
that's
can't hear
what
you.
man does. Oh wait,
Okay, that's better.
why can't you hear me?
Now that's better.
Just like old times.
You heard me?
Yeah, we heard you,
Oh
bro.
wait, I'm
Now are you frozen? Oh, okay. Hold on. So we got a commercial break.
Terrence said, Coach, I'm not against you. I'm just trying to understand because reaching out goes both ways.
Right.
I
But
think
I think
got,
yes, it does. But But the thing is, if you walked away, then the responsibility to have the conversation would be from you. So it's like saying you hurt me, but you want me to come and tell you, I'm sorry, you hurt me.
No. But the person might have not. Remember, the actions can be deceiving. Dr. E, you stay out of it. I need this Lady B and Coach.
Listen,
I need them to. You stay to the side
no,
because you get ready,
unless
no,
you,
but I did.
you get ready to go on my
What you
best.
not? What
unless
you
you're
not going to do is tell my co-host to stay to
reason.
the side.
Okay, if I'm not scared of not all three of y'all, if y'all want to come together, hey, no problem. Me and Chris got this, and we got Mike
You
coming
see
back.
Chris folded his arms. But no, I think it goes back to, yes, something may have happened. And
Right.
when you tell your story at 2 a.m.
Mhm.
Or 2 p.m., then you need to
Mhm.
explain that story.
Okay.
And then let the person decide if they believe that story or not. And it could be the absolute truth, but sound like an absolute lie. Because some days you have some crazy times and you're like, you won't believe what happened. And when you finish, the person might say, you absolutely right. I don't believe what you just said.
That's
But
true.
again, at least there is some communication versus you saying nothing and then just think like, hey, I haven't seen you in 6 months. And you're like, tomorrow you free? Let's go to dinner. What?
And I think,
That's a
and I'm
lot.
glad you.
But
I'm glad
you
you
can't
said
do
that,
that with
co-host,
Coach.
because I think that's the part Vaughn and T is missing. What I'm saying and why I'm saying it the way that I'm saying it. It's because you left me. And
Right.
to my co-host point, now it's like you want me to pick up the phone and say, hey, why did you hurt me? Okay, I just needed clarity. Oh, can we be friends again? Do you want to be back in my life again? It doesn't work that way. You didn't give me the option, but now you want all the respect and you want me to give you the options and lay out the red carpet for you for hurting me. It doesn't work that way.
And I told you that I understand that type of person if he came back. That type of man, I could understand. But you said that you was cutting it just straight up off. You wasn't giving a
Oh,
person
yeah.
a chance. And I'm saying is, and
Just
I'm
like a
saying,
light switch.
and
Maybe,
Like you still
maybe
got,
this make
oh,
it better, Vaughn. After, okay, you get one text and one phone call
mhm.
after the communication is broken to
Thank
begin.
you, Lord.
I'm
Thank
just
you.
you get one. Hey, are you all right? The minute something starts to switch from however our flow was,
Mhm.
of course you're gonna reach out and say, "Hey, are you okay?" Because yes, anything could have happened.
Thank you.
But if you are ghosting or zombieing someone, you're not responding. So
Thank you.
after that, yeah,
I
you
got
bruh, you get all the blocks.
I knew me and you. I knew me
right.
and you was
Because
I
unless you're in the
knew.
witness protection program, there's no reason why you cannot communicate.
There
I
you
Right.
go.
Now,
say
I
first.
get it, but Vaughn, you needed to say that part. You didn't state that
Yes, I
right
did.
after us. But no, in terms of, because we're talking about ghosting and zombieing,
No,
right?
but I was with
So,
lady. This my we back in good
okay, we're
terms.
gonna make it
We
easy. You you
we
you can make
let's
you
just
can make one or two reach outs. You good? You think?
uh-huh.
And after that, I'm out.
Okay, that's it. I can understand. See, that's understandable. See, now we working with something. See, that's what I had.
Well,
See,
no, I
Doctor
can give
E.
you that. I
See,
can give you
Doctor
that. But
E.
after that, the lights going off.
Right. See, Doctor E knew what I was talking about when she was playing perpetrating like she didn't know, but I knew she knew. That's why she was laughing and quiet on to the side. See now, but what Lady B just explained, that's why. Oh, I see. And I don't even have
I
to
can
talk
hear
to her
it that
mother.
way.
I don't got to talk to her mother. I still got to talk to yours. I definitely
It's
still got to talk
okay.
to your mother. I'm
You
going.
can. It's okay. You can.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, my.
Hey,
You
hey,
got
hey. I, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Great conversation, always is. However, okay, coach, I feel like you're so stiff in your ways. No, no, seriously. Like like Vaughn and Pastor Chris said, they couldn't well, Chris didn't really say that so much, but Vaughn did. Um, he was saying there could be a reason. You're labeling it as zombie or ghosting. But the fact that somebody it's a zombie until it's a ghost, until you don't show up. But you turn it, coach, you turn it into a ghost. I just could have disappeared for a minute. It could have been my mom was sick. It could have been I was sick. I lost communication for whatever reason. If you're not willing to hear my reason, then you just ghosted yourself.
No, no. So we're gonna back up all the way into this.
No, no,
First
no,
of
no,
all,
no.
I am not.
That's
No, no,
just
no,
my
no, no, no.
opinion.
Ho, ho, ho.
No, no,
No,
you
you and I respect your opinion. I'm just
okay. But
answering what you
so
said.
you don't have to respond to it.
oh,
Just
No, I do. I
no,
do. And again,
because
remember, it's been a long time, but I control the mute button. Remember
you
that?
do, and you've
Okay.
controlled it well.
But and again, you can't tell me not to respond. So I give
I'm
me
not
an
telling you
opportunity to
not to
respond because
respond, but
you
you
no,
see,
you
this
just
is
labeled
what.
me
Okay,
something as being
can I just say one more thing before
you just okay, go
Wait,
ahead. Say
wait,
one more thing.
you just
Because
muted me?
you labeled me. Go ahead. Say one
No,
more
I
thing.
didn't label you. I didn't label you. You taking that
You
kind of
did.
person.
You said you called me
Wait,
stiff.
hold,
You feel as
hold
though
on,
you're being
cowgirl.
stiff. You just
Hold on,
labeled me.
hold on. All I'm saying is, I'm just reiterating what you said, right? And that
I
is
didn't call
my
myself stiff, but go ahead.
okay. That is my take on what you said. You turned a
Hey,
zombie into a ghost by shutting off the communication. You may agree with that.
right.
You may disagree with that. I'm not saying that I was right in disappearing for a day, a week, or a month. All I'm saying is that you cutting me off, cutting off all communication, turned my zombie into a ghost. So,
Okay. I
with
hear
that being
you.
said, I just want to finish. I know you have the mute button. I just want to finish. With that being said, all I'm saying is this show is for men and women to come together. Is that why you started this show? You
Okay,
can
you want
answer
to
now.
me? You don't have to
I
tell.
just
You don't
want a
have to.
yes or
No,
no.
you don't get to. Hold on, hold
Wait,
on,
wait.
because you don't get to tell
wait,
me
wait,
when
wait.
and when not to answer. We're not going to do that. So we going, and it is the show is for men and women. But I need to address what you said about me. That's all I'm saying. We're not disagreeing, Mike. I'm not disagreeing with you. You are entitled to your opinion. And my point is, we're talking about zombieing and ghosting. So I'm speaking from in terms of the definitions that we were given. Now, when it was put in a different context, when Dawn said it, I understood what Vaughn and T was saying. Absolutely, I can say, hey, X, Y, and Z, you okay? I haven't heard from you. After that, yeah, I'm out. But again, you don't get to dictate how I feel when you disappear from my life. And even though, let's go back to communication. Hey, I'm going somewhere with my mom. Done. I got you. I know where you at. A Star said, hey, I'm going underground. Got you. Don't know if I'm coming back. Got you. Heard it. But in the same thing, you don't get to tell me how to respond to the hurt that I'm feeling because of what you've done to me. Elaine,
But I think
we're going to go
if
to
I have
commercial
to
break.
say, I have to say this, and I think into what Mike is saying is like, okay, let's say I'm just, stretching here. The person had COVID back then, and they were on a ventilator, so they couldn't speak or they couldn't. So then because you cut off the communication, you went from one aspect to now ghosting, where the person was trying to maybe come back around. You didn't know what happened and you felt that way. And I think a part of that is, I'm gonna say as women and men too, but I'm only speaking from a woman, we will feel like, oh, okay, this is how you're gonna do me, fine. So we immediately put up our walls to say, I'm gonna protect myself, which is not a bad thing. I think from what Mike was saying is, if you don't give me the opportunity to explain, and if I have a valid reason, if you shut me down automatically, then you don't know, then you took my zombieing where I was trying to come back and maybe explain, but because you cut off all communication, you now it looks like I ghosted you, but and technically you ghosted yourself because I was trying to talk to you. Was that a good recap of
No,
what
it
you were trying to
makes.
say? Let me
Oh
just,
no.
if that's
Oh, I
what
thought you
Mike
was
was trying
finished.
to
Go
say.
ahead. Go ahead. You no, I thought you was finished. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to see if that's what Mike was trying to say.
Yeah.
I can't.
You
You're on
muted.
mute, Mike.
You.
I'm trying to unmute him. Hold on. It's he has to unmute it from his thing. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, there
So
it
I
is.
can answer my own question that you asked me, Elaine.
Yes. Was that
Thank
what you
you
were
very much.
trying to say?
That is exactly what I said. That is exactly what I said. But I
Right.
think that Coach was kind of oppositional because it came from a male voice.
No, we're not gonna do that. Is I'm not
I don't.
oppositional.
I
And
don't
let me
think it
put no.
was.
No, I'm thinking in terms of when we started talking about the conversation. I'm not talking about for me. I wasn't looking at it in short terms, 1 week, 2 weeks. When we're talking about zombieing and ghosting, what I said, 6 months in a year. Somewhere in there, you could have said something. That's my point. I'm talking and thinking in terms of a long term. We talking 3 months out. We talking 4 months out. We talking a year out. You couldn't say anything. So
Did you
that's,
say
I think,
Maybe I had long COVID.
I never
okay, we
you
just
said 6
commercial
months.
break.
Yeah,
Commercial.
6
Yeah, I
months.
did say that. In the very beginning, I said 6 months or a year, 3 months, somewhere in there.
Oh,
I
okay.
did say that. So let's go to a commercial break.
Reginald says, Coach, I understand how you feel now. Thinking about it when I went through the same thing. Reginald said, Pastor, can we pray? Lady Nova said, I don't know what that came in wrong time.
You
I
came
don't.
in at a good time.
A star says, Coach has a fierce love for herself, and it sets a standard for those who want to be in her life. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
I
did
believe
say
that.
that. I did say that, Vaughn, in the beginning.
At the
three
beginning of the
months,
show.
6 months, in a year out. No, a 3 months, 6 months, and a year out. If you can't say anything, I'm absolutely blocking you.
Oh, okay.
It
I think
doesn't take
I'm
3 or 6 months or a year to say, hey, you good? Hey, and then you just pop back up from nowhere. I don't have to subject myself to that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I see now. What about the person who was in the hospital?
Well, listen, if the
You
person
want to
was in
see
the
the discharge
hospital,
papers.
Okay.
and again to that and to
Did
that
she cut?
point,
Did
the
she cut
six
all the
months
communication off?
listen, and to that, in all honesty, and to that point, if we're that serious and we're rocking now, you can have someone say something to me. If we're moving towards a relationship, if we've been rocking out 6 months, 7 months, 8 months in a year, and you're in a hospital and something that serious happens to you, and we supposed to be, together, you can have someone reach out to me and say, hey, just text her and let her know I'm in the hospital. I'm not doing well. Hey, text her. No, you can have somebody do that.
And if the person
It
if
takes
the
that,
person
huh?
and if the person doesn't, you hold that against them. Not to
It's
no.
not that I'm holding anything against anybody. I'm doing what's best for me.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, I'm not holding
What's
anything. I'm
best?
doing what's best for me. And did I not explain my history, what I've been through at this stage in my life? I'm not subjecting myself to that.
No,
That's
I
all I'm
understand. That's
saying.
I listen. I understand exactly where you're coming from. It's not
Hmm.
me disagreeing. But it will look, even though you say it's not holding against them and you looking out for yourself, it still is you looking out for yourself and holding that against him for him not to proceed in your life. That I mean,
Did that person look out for themselves when they did what was best for them when they zombied and ghost me?
it
At
depends.
that time, and not saying that it was a negative thing. I'm not saying that it was a negative thing. But
Right.
at that time, they felt as though they had to disappear, they had to ghost. At that given time, they felt that was what was best for them,
Right.
with
Now,
no respect of how it would affect me, with
I
no
see it on both
respect
sides.
for me and how I felt.
I
That's
see it on
what I'm
both
saying. And we're
sides.
not, no, and I'm not saying that I don't. We are not disagreeing. This is what it's about. But I'm just saying for me, this is not all women. I'm saying for me,
No,
this is
no,
my
I'm
take
saying when
that
you
I
say
take.
the person's looking out for themselves, there are some people that do actions that they're not looking out for themselves. They believe they're looking out for that person. So it's
Okay. And I mhm.
you may see it that way, and I'm not denying that because some people do that. But there are some people that believe what they're doing, they're looking out for that person, but they just their judgment or what they're doing is off, meaning the other person don't see it that way. Even though you may see it that way in your heart and in your understanding, that doesn't mean the other person will receive it in the way of your understanding. So I can't.
And I
I
can respect that, and we're gonna move on. I can respect that, and we're gonna move on from this. But my point is, everybody has a right to conduct themselves how they want their lives to go,
hmm
right? I'm
hmm
saying this is my process. I did share earlier that
hmm
I come from a long line of single, strong Black women,
Right.
and we all had to protect ourselves.
Right.
So
Right.
if this is my measure of protecting myself from somebody I was in a relationship with or getting to know for 3 months, for 4 months, and 5 months,
hmm
and then you decide that I'm not worthy enough for a text or a phone call, for me, that's unacceptable.
Right. I
I'm
got you.
saying for me, that's unacceptable. That's how I get to move on and heal emotionally.
Yeah, I believe that, and I 100% agree. I
All
agree.
right, commercial break and yeah, commercial break.
Stephanie says people can make conscious decisions to do and not to do things. True. Torrance said, I misunderstood you at first, coach. I thought you were just blocking a brother from the get go. And I think that was it.
No.
I think the missing piece was the time frame.
The time limit, right?
Was
I didn't hear that myself.
right.
And
I
when
think
Yeah.
I answered the
what
question, she was like, "No, no way."
Yeah,
She was,
Yeah,
should
it's
be on
the
time.
time frame.
yeah,
it's the time frame.
right.
Yes.
The time frame, I could pretty, agree. Unless he was in a coma for like 6 months,
But
that could happen. That could happen. I'm just letting you know.
let's see more.
Hey Star says, I'll hear you out and still leave you where you're at.
Golly,
And again, that's that person. We don't
Okay.
know. Listen, we all react and respond from what we've been through. We all have past trauma. We all done have past history. Whatever that environment is that shaped us and cultivated us plays a part in the
Mhm.
way we behave, the way we respond.
Right,
Right? So if that's their method, that's their method. If this is my method, this is my method. And there's nothing wrong with it. But again, to the point, I think what you all didn't hear was the time frame.
right. Yeah, I didn't hear the time frame. I can understand your point. I thought you was just, you
That's because
just.
you was late. That's why.
Oh no, you didn't.
Yep.
That's-
Oh, oh, because you was late. That's why.
Right.
Yeah. So
oh God.
I think this is a good place to leave it. It gotta and I want y'all to understand. I'm never trying to shut you down. It's here. It's everybody. Like I said in the very beginning of the show, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Right,
I'm not debating it because it comes from a man. I'm not debating it because it comes from a woman. I
Hold on,
receive stuff all from men. So I'm not debating that. My point is, like I said, everybody's opinion will be respected. But again, we don't get to tell each other how to respond and how to receive and how to act. That's all I'm saying.
I got you.
Make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes.
That makes
You
that
know,
makes a whole lot of sense. I'm sorry, I don't want to speak out of turn. That makes a whole lot of sense. But sometimes I come off as kind of harsh, but I'm not telling you how to think. I'm telling you from my perspective what you're thinking or how you moving is affecting me. That's all I'm saying. And may be affecting future relationships. That's all I'm saying. But I think you take offense to it because you think I'm this this person that is controversial and I bring controversy to whatever you say. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to show you from a man's point of view what that may look like.
Right. And I appreciate that. But I think
Thank
to
you,
the
but you don't sound like you appreciate it,
no,
especially
because
when you mute me.
I
See,
think
there you
what
go.
you're
You raising your
missing,
voice again, though. Speak
I'm
to
not
me. Speak
raising
to
my
me.
voice, Mike. What I'm
Okay.
saying is what I think you dropped off is what was missing. The piece that y'all didn't hear was the time
No,
frame.
no. I heard it. I heard it. But I'm not speaking to 6 months. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a ghost. Yeah, I
But
agree
that's what
with
I
you.
was talking to. That's what I was
Okay, but
referring
you
to
was
when I
also
was
talking
responding
to
to that.
what? Okay, then I'm responding to a week, 2 weeks, a month. Whatever. I'm just responding to the term ghosting. You put a time frame on it, but it's still the term ghosting and zombieing. I'm just speaking to that. I'm not speaking to 6 months. I'm not speaking to any time frame. I'm just speaking to somebody labeling what that other person did as ghosting or zombieing. That's all.
And that's fine. That is respected. That's your opinion,
I
and
just think
that's cool.
we not scared. We not scared of y'all. That's what I'm responding because I'm
We
not
don't we
scared of
don't
y'all.
honestly nobody wants y'all to be scared. That's not what it's about. Nobody
Coach, come
wants
on, coach.
anybody to be scared.
You know you left out now.
Now if y'all gonna stop labeling me, I am not left eye. Okay? I have not burned anybody's house down.
Not yet.
Don't okay, we gonna wrap up the show. Cause
Y'all ain't
y'all think y'all know a version of me and y'all really don't.
No,
Hmm?
no, we only know what you show us.
I
y'all
Man.
ain't
never told y'all I burned the house down.
No, no, I know that.
But you told us you it's a
But you
possibility
told,
you broke a
but
law.
your behavior is
Well,
telling
I
us
never
that you
said
have the talent to.
my
No, that's
behavior
a
is
dig.
saying
That's a
what?
dig. Nothing,
My behavior is
nothing,
saying what?
nothing. I wouldn't get in an argument with no woman. Okay. All I'm
No,
saying
because
is,
my
all I'm
behavior
saying,
says that I stand
coach,
up for
coach,
myself.
and
That's
you
what my
are,
behavior says.
you do, and you do
Okay.
that well. But I'm
Hmm.
saying, you know, women in general, not you, women in general need to be a little softer.
God.
No, you disagree? A
Okay, we going
woman's.
into a whole nother show. We going
That's
into a
okay. Put me
whole
on
nother,
that show. I'll be a co-host on that show. The
and
man's
that's your
role is
personal
to be.
opinion.
It's not opinion. It's fact. It's in the Bible.
Okay, we're not gonna do that. We really not gonna do the Bible right now. Hold on, bro, because you get
It's
ready
a
to step into
Christian
the
show.
lane. You get ready to step into a lane. We gonna wrap this all up in love, peace, and harmony. Because what we not fin to do is bring the Lord in this. Not right now.
Christian show.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
A
Uh-uh.
Christian-based show.
Elaine.
No.
I'm, well, yeah. We're gonna say good
Yeah.
night, but I think not that what you were saying is not like I do. We're not gonna go into it, but I do agree with some of that. I do think a lot of sometimes we can be a little softer as women, and we had to learn how to take on some of those harder masculine traits for other reasons. But that's another
No.
show.
Okay. I respect that.
Okay.
But
And
I
we gonna go
understand.
around.
I understand where Coach was coming from because the way she was raised, the way she's been around. When she said strong women, that can take a toll on a woman as far as where she uh, um, prosper in her life. But Coach, ask me this: where you see yourself now, and what
Okay, this is
might
not going
change?
to be a therapy session about me, but if we go back, I'll
I'm
find the
just asking
show
a
for you.
question.
Hold on, hold, time out, time out, time out, time out, time out. Because if y'all go back to one of the very first shows, what did I say? No woman wants to be this hard. When I find the man where I can woosah and say, here, take this and here, do that, I am 110% 10 toes down for it. I said that on this platform. No woman, I'll speak for myself, wants to be this hard. But given my history, given what I have been through, this is where I am at now. This is how I protect myself. Now, if we're going to go to the Christian side with discernment, I know how to discern who to let my guards down with. So, like I said, I have said this before on this platform. I have said it that no, I don't want to be this hard. I can't wait for my husband to come along so I can tell, yeah, do that, whatever you say. We doing that. I said that here.
But how do you
So
know
if
you're
y'all,
not shutting your husband
It's
out
now. Yeah.
by red light camera reported ahead? I'm sorry. How do you know you're not shutting your husband out by not showing the softer side?
Right.
because I just said I have the spirit of discernment. That's how I know. That's how I know. And that's a whole nother show. We're not gonna get into that.
Yeah. That's
I
yeah.
know when to let my guards down and when not to. I
Yeah,
promise you I do.
that's you're saying, yeah, we need another show on that one, because you
Yeah.
said,
Good night.
let your guards down, but then a man will look at you, and especially as soon as you let your guards down, that man guard has came up, because the way he
No, we
sees.
going hold on. We going somewhere else. This is a whole
Yeah,
nother
we need to
show
do a show on
for
that.
a whole nother time.
Yeah, we need to
And
do a
we
show on
not gonna have it right now. We gonna go around this screen right now. And we gonna let Lady Dawn B. Thank you for coming in, stepping in. What words do you want to leave on the platform tonight?
Well, number one, Vaughn Eric, you do not have my mom nor Pache's on speed dial, so we're not going to worry about you reaching out to them. Okay. But what I will say to everyone is simply, you are the captain of your own ship. You have to determine what is healthy for you, what your limits are, what your boundaries are, what you're willing to open up to, and just what are your deal breakers. Um, Consider how much of yourself you want to extend and to whom. Because once you let someone in that space, sometimes it could be hard to let them out, to get them out, and then the healing that you have to do after that. So just be mindful as you go along. Consider all things in the relationship. How was this person before, and how are they affecting you now? That's all.
Vaughn.
Thank you for being on. Thank you for letting me up on the platform. It's been always a great conversation. I do have Pastor Bravo on speed email, but I'm going to get Pastor Rosa. I'm going to get her number. The Lord knows I'm going to get it. It's been fun with y'all ladies and Brother Mike and Pastor. Dr. E, keep on being with that open mind, because no, Lady B, she's back. She's good. She's good. Coach, I love you. Even though
Mm-hmm.
I truly do. Nothing that you said, I do not disagree. Because we all have different personalities. We all have different ways how we prosper in life. And whatever way that you take, as a king, I must love because you are a queen. All three of y'all. So even though we may come disagree, which me, I don't disagree. I just like to see on both sides. I like to bring two perspective to, and conversation. But I enjoy conversating with y'all queens, because y'all have a lot of wisdom and understanding, and the people in the chat. And Brother Mike, as always, and Pastor Chris, thank you for coming through. Much love and respect.
Mike.
I don't want to upset anybody. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
What I will say, it is okay to agree to disagree. We are never arguing. We all have our own values. We all have our own opinions. We all come from our own perspectives. That's what makes it work, right? So we're never arguing. We're just giving our opinions, right? So to the topic, people engage in zombieing and ghosting for various psychological and situational reasons, often rooted in emotional immaturity, avoidance, or insecurities. With that, I would just say in dating in these days, it can be tricky, it can be muddy, right? Guard your heart until you know that is the right person for you. But again, in these relationships, don't allow anybody to disrespect who you are. Stand up for what you believe, keep your boundaries, and do what's best for you in your healing process. And from HG, there's more in you. Co host?
Okay. I would say we get to decide who we let in and who we keep out of our lives because it's about time and we don't want to waste it. Time is the one thing that is non refundable that you can never get back. So spend your time wisely. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good news, sweetheart.
Night.
So
Good night.
everybody out. Good night. Good night. Good night. And good night.
Good night.